told to do right. Stick her by my side if they wanna test my life. Yeah, street kid, I was trapping long nights.
It's your boy Blue Eyes back with the most slept on but unstepped on pure podcast in the world, Scandalous World. Salute.
Yes, sir. You already know what time it is. I'm your boy B. Luke. Like he said, this is the Scandalous World podcast because it's a scandalous world, so we on that, bro.
Most slept on, unstepped on, giving it to you pure, uncut, and raw.
No doubt, no doubt. We gonna start. We got a new thing. We're gonna start with like a quote of the day,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So I'm gonna start it off. And today's quote is: "Life isn't about getting and having, but about giving and being." Don't let that go over your head. Giving and being, not about getting and having. And I feel like once you realize that, it's like you got the keys to the truck, to life, and everything kind of becomes a little bit more clear when you realize it's not about you.
Yeah, and it plays in about living in the now, being selfless, about giving and being rather than about getting and having. It ties right back into being selfless, and really working towards a goal that's a lot bigger than just yourself.
Yeah, you might have to pull that mic a little closer too, because I'm looking at the levels right there.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, no doubt, definitely. When you can start giving and serving and being purposeful and living a purpose-driven life.
Yeah.
That was a program that they had in jail. It was based on a book. I forget the author. A purpose-driven life. But unfortunately, when I was taking that program, I don't think I was buying into it 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think I was buying into it. I think I was kind of like, hey, I'm here for the good time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Exactly. That brings me back to my point. Like when I was going to therapy and psychiatrists and stuff like that for court, just to
Right.
to make it look good on a piece of paper. But if your intentions ain't pure, your results ain't gonna be pure either. So
Big time.
you have to get into things for the right reason. Not just because it's gonna benefit you, but you gotta in the short term, but what's gonna benefit you and the people around you in the long run.
Big time. And speaking of getting into things, sometimes as men, we tend to get ourselves into relationships, right?
Oof.
Yeah, oof. That's
Many
a
of
big
them.
one. Relationships. See, I haven't had as many. So, like, honestly, my last relationship, I feel like I'm still learning, bro. I'm learning how to be a selfless person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because just living a certain lifestyle, it was like if you're not selfish, nothing's gonna come to you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
not like in a street way, right? It's always you got to look out for yourself more than anybody in the streets,
it took
in
me
jail.
a long time to learn and pivot. You know me, I was a player for a long time, had a lot of girls, but it's just like the homies be like, yeah, yo, you got all the girls, man, you the man. But now that I'm older and matured, I think it's more it's better to have one girl you can rely on than to have 100 girls you could just mess around with. It's better to have one person that's gonna hold you down and be there, that rather than 100 girls that like you and lust you. I think it's better to have one that loves you. So I've been slowing my roll down a lot, and hoping with a lot of hard work and consistency that I'll attract like-minded individuals.
No doubt, because I've never been really the type to jump into relationships. I felt like I always had too much of my own thing going on to prioritize a woman, number one. And I think that's my problem sometimes is like I'm chasing whatever. Back in the day, it was the money, the hustling. I'm chasing the money, I'm chasing the bread. And mostly it was just to live the same lifestyle that my friends was living without having to do that. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like they had whatever, they're getting $20 a day from their mom or something like that, like for lunch. Like I didn't have that. So it's like that adds up where if you save your $20 a day, now my boy got $100 for the weekend and I'm sitting here broke, bro. So it's only so long that I'm gonna be broke for that. That's why I was very intrigued with the hustling lifestyle.
Definitely, and I used everything to my advantage. Like even women at one point, we used each other.
Would you say that you but were maybe at one point a womanizer?
Oh, 100% bad too. It was to the point where I was so bad I didn't even realize it. I'd be living with one girl. I call her like, hey, make some dinner tonight and bringing another girl home. We'll have a little party, and I'll be driving the third girl's car to pick up the second girl to bring her to my girl's house. It was just so crazy. It just,
Right.
But that as I got older, some of the stories I can get back into was just like, wow. Like, I really lived that Hugh Hefner lifestyle for a long time, but it gets tiring, bro. I can't keep up with
No
that
doubt.
shit no
Well,
more.
bro, when I first got out of state prison, it was one of those things where it was like, I felt like, and I know this is so stupid now looking back at it, but it was like I felt like I had to catch up on my notches, bro.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really going for quality. I was going for quantity, bro. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for watching this episode. Got to take a little bit of time to highlight our sponsor for this episode, Quality Over Quantity Clothing Line. Just remember, we kept it cool no matter what the circumstance. And it's always, always quality over quantity, especially when it comes to clothing. And they do a superb job with it. So tap in with Quality Over Quantity Clothing Line. Back to the episode. So I felt like it even in life too, like, oh, you feel playing catch up. That was such a stupid mentality.
Yeah.
Luckily, nothing went crazy there because, like, it's not like I have 10 different baby mamas and all. You know what I mean? It never got to that point, but it was a point where I was just like, yeah, man, it was all about getting them notches, bro, and it was real immature and real young-minded.
I like to keep a trophy next to me, so I would like, even though I might have like 3, 4, 5 mediocre chicks in my music video, I got a dime piece sitting right there at home waiting for me to get back. So it's like, I'm very much more particular in the girls that I date rather than the girls I mess around with, you know. But to actually have a relationship, I gotta screen you hard. It takes a while. Like, like you said, the toxic relationships. I can't get involved. I know where it leads. I know how it ends up. And I'm not naturally I'm a confrontational person, but not when it comes to women.
Right.
You know, I'd rather walk away than argue.
Right. Well, I mean, this is one of these things too, where it's like some of the relationships that I would find myself in. I would find myself like, these women talking to me in a way that I'm like, I don't let nobody talk to me like that.
Right.
I don't let nobody, especially if you was a
we-
man.
Yeah.
I'm not putting up with that type of disrespect, and I'll get real defensive over that type of shit. And I don't like that, man. I don't like to be. I don't know. It's just different as a guy. It's like when someone talks shit, like, be willing to back it up physically, but you can't really do that with
Right.
women, you know? Like, so it's like,
It puts you in a complex situation to where you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And as humans, we always naturally, we want to know what we can and can't get away with. So we push the line, you know. So sometimes it just takes for you to put your foot down. That's why I'd rather be alone than settle, you know. And when I mean settle, I mean, you know, everyone got to settle and compromise in some way, I believe. But I won't just settle for anything. I want to be happy. I want to be respected, and vice versa, you know. So
works both ways, for sure. For sure. So it's like, but this, like, this relationship I'm just getting out of, man, it's kind of fresh, and it's like, yeah, it hurts, man, you know, and I'll be thinking about her and all this, but I'm like, man, at the end of the day, sometimes you know what's right for you in the long run.
right.
You know what I mean? If something's not working, it's just not working, and sometimes damage is done.
Yeah.
Sometimes I may have done too much damage, and then you get to that point of no return. You can't take it back. Now, every little thing I try to speak about on my end, like, yeah, I don't really like how you was talking to me like that. Well, you was micro-flirting, micro-cheating, flirting with girls online, where it's like, really, I'm really just trying to support all my people. Anyway, guys, I'm shouting out guys, yo,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Yo, dope, you know what I mean? Like, but sure, she told me to dial it back, or asked me to, whatever. I dialed it back still, but it's still like, damn, I can't bring up anything without stuff getting thrown in my face.
It's
I don't like that.
insecurity, it's
And
jealousy.
I'm an insecure dude too. You know what I mean?
We all are, as humans, whether we like to admit it or not. That's a whole nother subject. But we all have our moments and times where we're insecure. But the last girl I was with, man, it's like the last real relationship. It was so toxic because, like, my heart would be saying one thing, but my mind would be telling me
Right.
another.
And it goes back to that instant gratification thing,
Right.
and sacrificing the now for later. Like, yeah, I might feel lonely tonight with nobody to talk to, nobody to text, and nobody to call. But it's like, you know what? The way things was going, it's probably for the best. And I know, I need therapy. Like, no cap. And I don't. And you were talking about how you went for probation and all that stuff, and that's fine too. But sometimes, like, you go to barbershop enough, you'll get a cut. So you still might take something from it, even if you don't know subconsciously. But, like, yeah, man, don't be afraid to, reach out, talk to people, and get professional help, man. There's nothing to be ashamed about for that. I know, Tony Soprano caught a lot of flack for that on The Sopranos, man. He wasn't. That's different mafia rules and all that stuff. But it's like, man, as men, it's not always about the bravado, the macho, I get mad bitches, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, man, I'm hurting, man.
And at the same time, don't be afraid to put your foot down and say, this is what I want, this is what I deserve, this is what I'm going to go after.
Right. Because women will have no problem telling you their standards for men. I'll tell you that much. You know what I mean? Like, women will tell you, no, you got to be 6 feet, make 6 figures. You know what I'm saying? Be slanging 8+, whatever. Like these, like. But as men, we can't be like, yeah, I want to be talked to a certain way or whatever, whatever you may want.
Take the lashing, like a good example.
Bro, I've done it, and I've done it just to keep the peace. Sometimes, like keep the peace, like just.
So, like, a good example, I think it was Matt Damon in The Departed said, I'm Irish. I'll deal with something being wrong the rest of my life. So if this ain't right, you got to be the one to let me know, because it's kind of like I'm a glutton for punishment. This is all I know. I don't know if this is right or not. I'm used to this this toxicity or whatever.
Definitely. At one point, one of my relationships, I was with this woman for 5-6 years, but it's like the last year, I would say we was just more roommates.
Yeah.
That was the vibe. You know what I mean? I slept in the bedroom, she slept in the living room. I wasn't messing around, man. I'm against cheating and sleeping with other women. Like, to me, it's just like it's like when it's like you're giving that girl, that woman, your word, right? So as a man, you're supposed to, you know what I mean? Your word's supposed to mean something. Like, so if you commit to something like that to me, and then you're not really for it, then you're going back on your word. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's just me. You know what I mean?
No, I've been known to be a player, but not so much a cheater. A lot of my girls know each other, know of each other. Right. We all hang out together. It's just a lifestyle. But I always thought, just one woman ain't enough to hold me down. Now that I'm grown and a little bit educated, one woman is enough, more than enough to deal with.
Right. Make sure it's the right one.
3 of them headaches or 10 of them headaches. And when it comes to trust, I damn near trusted none of them. So
trust is hard for me, bro. My first couple experiences with relationships, and I'm talking real relationships past, like, I'm not talking about 8th grade relationships where all we did was kiss and stuff like that. Like, whatever. Shout out to all those, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I don't count that. I'm talking about my first girlfriend that I was having sex with. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I had a few serious relationships. I've been with hundreds of girls, but I could count on my hand a handful of real relationships I've had,
Yeah, and mine is one hand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I saw you opened up 2 hands. Mine is one hand, literally, and only this recent one, and then the woman I was with for like 5 years. Those were the only ones that was even longer than like 90 days. You know what I mean? So I don't need. That's like the trial period. If it don't even last 90 days, does it really count as a relationship? But my first relationship, I went to jail. Right, I went to county jail. I knew I was going away, and it was one of those things where I was on house arrest when we got together, right? So I don't know how seriously I took the relationship at that point, being on house arrest. So it was to the point where I'm like, listen, I'm about to go do a bid. You know what I mean? I don't think this is gonna work. Right. And then it was on her. She was like, no, I'm gonna be there for you. And she was at first. But I think when I was locked up, that's when I fell in love with her, because I was vulnerable. Yeah. In jail, you're vulnerable to stuff like that. To any bit of love, bro. Any bit of love, it means like
support and communication. And so, you're vulnerable.
That's how I look at it, bro.
Honestly,
any bit of love, man. Even if it was dudes, man, showing me love. I tell you what, if a dude wrote me as a friend. Don't say no like gay stuff, bro. If that's your thing, that's fine. That's not me. But I'm just saying, if a dude was holding me down and wrote me and even sent me $20 here and there, you better believe when I get out, anything you need, you're my dog, bro. You know what I'm saying? That means a lot, bro.
Very few that do that.
Yeah, and that means a lot.
Few.
And I think that's what initially had me falling in love with her was she was coming up to visit. She would answer the phone call. She would send pictures, send this sexy pictures. I'm 20 at the time, if that, 19 maybe. I forget. It was like my first county bid. I might have been like 20. And yeah, the next thing I knew, I fell in love with her, bro. And then I was supposed to parole to her house. And then it come to find out, she's cheating on me. You know, she got a new boyfriend, which I kind of figured at the beginning. And I was upset because it was like, man, that's not only is that you're playing with my heart, but like, damn, now it's like you're playing with my freedom.
Right.
Oh, bro, it was that was a day too. It was a bad day. I found out that my girl was with somebody else, and I got in a fight too in the cell. Some dude that was like from my neighborhood that I guess I'm a little younger, but the story is like he had robbed one of our boys who had passed away, and it was like pretty much beef on sight every time we seen him. So we seen him on the streets, and I told my boy like, oh, there go boom boom boom, and then we ran up on him, and I picked up a weapon, I hit him, and I gave him like 11 staples, or gave him some staples in his eye or stitches or something like that. He came in. And there was a few of us from my neighborhood, but I was like, I'll do it. I'm the one that hit him. Tell him that was me. That scar that's on his head. Tell him that was me. And so I'm all amped up. I'm like, all ready to fight in the cell and all this stuff. And then it was like, we're going to go down to my boy Greg's cell. And Greg and Chad Cummins, rest in peace, Chad, man. That was sad. He passed away.
Salute.
Yeah, Malden guy. Yeah, Chad was cellies with my boy Gribby, and they had the bigger, like the cells in Bill Ricker, fucking small. They were made for one person, bro, but they ended up putting two people. But there's a handicap one at the end. It's a little bigger. They had that cell, Chad and Greg. The kid used our cell, but the first
big homie.
Yeah, big time. Not solid as they
peace,
come, bro.
Chad.
Rest in peace. Like for real, that was a real good dude. Those older dudes like that always try to school us, bro.
Last
when
of
we
a
was
dying
there.
breed, but-
And so they cracked the doors for whatever. And the lieutenant just so happens to post up all the way down there. So I'm like, damn. Now it's like I gotta wait a whole because you don't really, if you can fight in the cell, you fight in the cell. If you don't, that's kind of like you pulling a stunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially the way it was, like, boom. But dude was like, he was about it, man. He came down, and then the next time, and then we went in there, and we fought it out like men. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say I beat him up, because if it's not a clear, decisive victory, and you're not on the ground, and I'm not gonna say I beat you up. Bro. I let the judges decide that. I let the people who was watching, they could decide that. Whatever. It ain't even about wins and losses. A lot of times it's about showing up, bro.
Attendance.
But that was just, and then so that had went down, and I was kind of like, when I didn't knock him out, or I didn't like win clearly. Like, he had a bust, a little cut in his eye, had a busted lip. It was like, it's a fight, bro. It was like, it was an even bang, and more people need to take from that. Nowadays, if there were a lot more people be willing to do that, we wouldn't have as much gun violence nowadays. But it was a day, so that happened, and then so I was kind of upset with myself there. I was like, but I mean, dudes gave me respect. They was like, they was calling me the mechanic. They're like, yeah, you putting in that hitting them with body shots, Chad. He was like, yeah, Bobby the mechanic. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he was putting in that body work, and I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Like the butterfly effect, yo.
I'll take it.
Like we said,
but that was a bad day. I found just to finish real quick. This like one of these things in jail, but I just I got in the fight. I was kind of upset with myself that I didn't whoop him the way I wanted to whoop him. And then I found out about my girl, and it was just like, damn, bro. And you in there, it's like, God.
And ain't shit you could do about it. It's like the butterfly effect. Everything's one happening after another.
But everything happens for a reason, and I'm a big believer in that. And we may not, it's not always for us to know the reason. That's selfish thinking. There's a bigger reason. There's a bigger reason for that. You know what I mean? God has a plan for us, right? They say God will be there for us, the creator, and like I said, at that time I didn't know, but luckily I had an older dude from Lowell. What was his name, man? Was it Mercier? Was it Brian Mercier? I forget. He was a good dude, but I was telling him the situation, and he's like, listen, don't tell parole, bro. He's like, because then you're gonna get set back like a whole, wait till you get out and then change your address. I'm like, oh, that's smart. So that's exactly what I did. And it was like, I waited until I got parole. And it was Jim Brothers, man. He was like one of the best ever. But I don't even think he checked the house. I think he was sick for a week and just kind of let it pass through. I don't know because I don't have any recollection of anybody telling me he went by and checked that house.
I had Damon Banks out of Somerville. He was a decent dude, too.
Bro, Dame, shout out. I actually want to reach out to Damon. I know his family. He was
my godfather, man.
He was a basketball coach at Ringe. He was actually my little brother, my youngest brother, Anthony, that you met.
Yeah.
He was a DSS worker or DCF or whatever they call it now.
He was his PO, and he was
he was a PO after. He's the head of probation now.
Chelsea, I think.
Somerville.
In Somerville.
He might be bouncing around.
Yeah, he was bouncing around. But shout out to Damon Banks. Salute.
He's one of those good ones that like he's a PO, man. He's the head of probation, but he's like he's.
But if
he's like from the street, so he's
but
hip.
He understands if you ain't out there getting in trouble and getting high, he's not gonna give you a hard time. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're keeping your nose clean, you're checking in with him, he's not.
Yeah, and if you see this Damon, man, come on, man, we would love. It's not always about just bringing the ex-cons on. We want to bring everybody that's kind of, involved in trying to help people. And I really do think that he is one of those.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Those guys. That's cool that you said
Much
his name.
respect,
But
dude, much respect.
So as soon as I got out, it was a non-issue. I'm like, I think I'm gonna change my address to my grandmother's. Family's always gonna, no. And it was like not a problem. And it was one of those things, about being teachable and being willing to listen to when old heads is trying to school
and a
you.
lot of people are in such a rush. Like me, I gotta love myself first. You gotta love yourself first. A lot of people just jump from relationship to relationship. They're scared to be alone.
And I think that's my problem is I wasn't looking for a relationship
or they do
when
they
this
want
went
to
down.
rebound, or they don't want to be alone, but your intentions ain't pure, so the results ain't gonna be genuine,
Mm-hmm. I mean, my intentions were pure going into it.
Oh, for sure.
But my whole thing was like, I was just going to the gym every day, still trying to fix myself and work on myself. And she worked at the gym, and I got a DM, and because one of the other dudes that worked there, I talked to him. She's like, "Oh, you know that dude?" Or he's like, "Yeah." And he gave her my Insta, and
Some of the nicest, most
she slid in my DM, bro.
Smile women are the most evil things created on this planet.
Yeah, no, but she's not evil. I'm not gonna say that.
Not her, but let me
But I
speak
get you.
about my experiences.
Go ahead, go for it, bro.
This is an unpopular opinion, but I think the most evil creature on this earth is a female woman.
A woman scorned, maybe.
Yeah.
But men are bad too, man.
Men are bad too, but
look at the school shootings, bro. Look at the school shootings. There's no females that do that.
Intel. Like if I was president, I hire all women for CIA.
Well, you know what they say. I think I got this from Game of Thrones. Was poison, right? A man kills by the sword. A woman kills by poison. And now we're not in medieval times. But let's just relate to it. They may not poison your drink so you die, but they'll poison your life.
Your mind.
They'll poison your mind. They'll poison your life. They'll call your PO and lie to them to put you in jail.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I've heard things about females calling on other people's doctors to get them shut off of their scripts.
Crazy.
And I heard that. I'm like, I would never, ever even think of anything like that. You know what I mean? And no guy that I know would do stuff like that. That's the whole thing. If I got a problem with you, you got a problem with me. As men, we know what to expect. It's on sight.
Right.
But when you got a problem with a female, and she's determined to make your life
I'm
a
saying
living hell,
that's one of the most scariest things on earth. I fear a coward more than I fear a man. I fear
a man will carry himself with respect and
more
logic.
than I fear a gangster, because a real man, if we got a problem, you're just going to come up to me, hey, we got an issue, we're going to get it in, we're going to go hand in hand, and that's that. But a coward, he's going to do everything but that. He's going to smear your name, he's going to drag your name through the dirt, he's going to try to get you in trouble, he's going to rat on you, he's going to...
Or sneak you if he does going to do it.
He's going to sneak you, he's going to try to sucker punch you, he's going to... anything but head-to-head in a fair one, So I fear a coward more than I fear a gangster. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but that's the world we're living in today.
And and there's a lot of them out there, man. A lot of cowards out there. But it's not just men too, man. I guess women could be cowards too.
And men could be bitches too.
I don't know, but I just think sometimes as men, we don't like to, if something happens in a relationship, we want to immediately blame the woman, right? Instead of being like, you know what, maybe I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Maybe I still need help. Maybe I still need to talk to a therapist, right? Because there's deeper issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I gotta admit,
past traumas that, I haven't healed from. And there's probably, I'm sure, mommy issues there and daddy issues and all that stuff that's, the underlying issue for my criminal behavior, for me wanting to turn to alcohol and weed and even harder drugs at one point, popping pills and doing coke and all that stuff, right? It's not the drugs that are the problem, the alcohol or the woman in this case. I'm the problem. I've recognized that. You know what I mean? And that's a big step.
And it's good.
And I'm trying to work on myself,
is
bro.
everything. And it took me a long time to realize, like, maybe it ain't every single one of the hundreds of girls I've been with. Maybe the common denominator is me, maybe I gotta go about things different, and once I looked at it like that, again, perspective, I seen it like, all right, so I'm gonna get out what I put in. I just treat people how you want to be treated. Let's take it back to the basics.
Yeah, like we were saying.
And I'm going back to.
Well, that's the thing too, right? What do you think's easier to control, right? Hundreds of women, or yourself? You know what I mean? You can't, when you're trying to control other people, it's a fine line between manipulation. You're manipulating them, and it's just like it's a worthless battle sometimes.
So if you
can't
ask
control
me this
how you
question,
act. I can't control if you say something disrespectful to me, but I can control how I react to it.
Right? But
Stoicism.
If you asked me this question years ago, I would swear I could and I was dealing with hundreds of women.
And no, I'm not saying you can't, but it's manipulation.
But I'm saying it gets exhausting. I used to think I could. You know what I'm saying? I got 5 girlfriends. I got 20 girls I talk to. I got 100 friends. But at the end of the day, having one that will hold you down and ride for you is more important. And the reality of even trying to control or have a handle on a mutual respect and see eye to eye with one person is hard enough. Never mind I try to do it with 20. So I gave up on that a long time ago. The only time I'm with multiple women is when we're all in the same room. We all know about each other. We're all cool with it. I ain't with the lying, the sneaking. By now I am who I am. There's certain women who accept me for that. They like women too. They like to have a good time, and that's the atmosphere I'm in right now.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's like one of those things too. It reminds me of like a quarterback controversy, right? When you got 2 quarterbacks fighting for the spot, man. If you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none. They say, right?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like with Brady, like there wasn't like, yeah, we got backups, but they're not really. Right. So it's like if you got 5 women, 100 women, you really got none.
Yeah.
You know
and I
mean?
like girls that like girls. It don't matter how many girls I had. This is when I realized I had a problem. Like, I'll be messing with a few girls, and I'm thinking like, oh, I kind of get sick of it. Let me switch it up. But it doesn't matter how gorgeous you are, who you are. The same result. I end up feeling the same way. You could be calm and Electra. Eventually, I'm gonna get sick of you and either cheat on you or want to bring another girl in the bed. Or what's up with your sister or your friend? That's just how I am. I get a big appetite. So instead of like try to lie about it and hide it, I embrace people who embrace me. Girls that love me for me. And there's some girls that love girls and love that I love girls. And that are cool with it. And them are the ones I get along with the most,
Well, I would hope I would hope you love girls. I know that. Definitely I could feel that, bro. But it's like one of those things too, where it's like, okay, maybe the girl that you get quote unquote get sick of, maybe that's not the issue. Maybe there's something with you that you're not comfortable with.
It was me the whole time. It was that's why I brought up Carmen Electra as a
right.
point, because no matter what you gave me at the time, I could have all the steak in the world. Every once in a while, I want to grab a burger.
Word, do you think? Let's be honest. Do you think you need therapy? Do you think you could benefit from some therapy?
When I went, I did
like
go
there's
to
got to be
therapy.
an underlying issue.
I grew up with a badass controlling mom. I probably just came to this epiphany about a year ago. I've been controlling women, real like stern and strict, and my girl, this, that, everything in order. I'm in control. I'm a control freak. Straight up, I'm a control freak. But I think that stems from growing up with such a strict mom. There was 10 of us in one household, no father, and she was very strict. and she was very controlling.
Now, do you feel with 10 of y'all, do you feel like you maybe didn't get the attention you needed from your mom? Or was you like the baby and you got maybe too much attention?
I got plenty of attention.
Okay.
I just, you know, my mom was such a badass, being controlled by her for so many years. Like, it wasn't like, hey, Ronnie, go clean your room. It's like, this is how you're going to clean your room. This is when you're going to clean your room. And that's it. No talking back. So it's like, once I got older and I got into my own relationships, I'm like, hey, baby, rub my back. Hey, baby, you know, do the dish, do this, that. I was the one in control. I kind of ran with it for years. I'm talking like 10, 20 years. I did nothing but run around with all kinds of females. But it took me a long time to learn that, you know, I slowed my roll a lot, but I'm still with multiple girls, but I ain't running around cheating and creeping. It's with girls that accept me for me. You know, my girl got a girlfriend. And we're all cool. And then every once in a while, the three of us, we might bring a fourth girl home. But that's where I'm at right now. I gotta be with somebody who loves me for me and accepts me for me instead of trying to hide who I am. I gotta be real at the end of the day. If I grow out of it and I fall in love with one person, that would be beautiful. But until then, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know, I slowed down a lot. I'm not running around with 20 different girls, but I still got, you know, 2 girlfriends that like to have fun occasionally and bring another girl home.
And they're both aware of each other. And at least there's that. Like you said, you're not sneaking, so.
Right, no, we all stay together.
Honest, yeah. And I feel like that's big, too, is honesty, right? If you're clear about what you're looking for going into things and clear about, you know, who you are and stuff like that.
I'm a protector. I'm a provider. You know, one cooks and cleans. The other one does the dogs and takes the dogs out and does the dishes and works. And the other one is... So they pull their weight and I pull my weight. It's like a team. It's a unit. But
is there ever any animosity between the two of them?
So
outwardly,
I've been in this position more than once, and it always seems to be the same stuff. So you could have a girl that's like, yeah, I accept you for you. You know, we could have other girls come over, blah, blah, blah. But you'll notice as time goes along, like, say you have a girlfriend and you bring a second girl in. That first girl automatically feels like she has some kind of seniority. So it's like when you're making love to when you're making love to both women, it's like the little things like, oh, you're kissing her more. Or when it's over with, who you're gonna finish with. It came down to the littlest details that they would end up bickering about, and it would be my original girl that would get, you know, and I would just put a dead to it there. Like, this is what we're doing. If you're not cool with it, we don't need to do it at all. But it was just little jealousy. Like, oh, I just feel like you're kissing her more. Well, I'm with you every day. We have a random girl over once a week. Of course, we're going to show her a little extra attention because she ain't going to be here tomorrow. You are. You know what I mean? It's all good. I got more love for you. I'm just, having my fun tonight.
Well, salute to you for that balancing act.
It used to be a juggling act, but I slowed down a
lot. That was a balancing act, but you got a safety net.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to think of it like a circus analogy, right? A balancing act on the what the fuck is that?
All you need is one girl that accepts you for you. Like I'm lucky enough to have this one chick, a few of them, but one in particular that. She's just a realist. She knows who I am. She knows I'm about having all these girls. So instead of trying to change me, she embraced me, and I never had to cheat on her once in my life. Anytime I was with another girl, she knew about it, it was there, and was a part of it. And I respected it so much that she embraced me for me, that it made me not want to cheat on her. Even when she wasn't around, I'm like, hey, want to have a girl over tonight? Oh, I'm gonna help my mom out and stuff. All right, maybe tomorrow night. It actually motivated me. The respect they gave me for me, love me for, respect me for who I am, it kind of made me want to give more,
Nah, no doubt, man. What about breakups, man? How does that normally go? How does that normally affect you?
So nowadays in my older age, I get along with my exes. But in the past, it was never the case. It was never the case. Most of my breakups were always ugly breakups, and they all hate me. And
Block you.
it's most likely because I was cheating on them or messing with their sister or their best friend. That was back in the day when I was like still creeping and cheating and playing, and I wasn't. At one point, I just got to a point where I ain't lying for nobody. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Whoever don't accept it, and you'd be surprised how many girls. There wasn't a lot, but there was a few who stayed. And they were like, all right, I respect that. And but the breakups, they're never pretty. They're never pretty.
No doubt.
I just broke up with a model from Miami, and it's just like the evil text messages, like the inboxes, the DMs, the rant she goes on is just crazy. I've
How do you react? Because I know women, especially the ones that we're in relationships with, like, they know what buttons to push, bro.
Yeah.
More than anybody,
so
I would say.
That's what made me really want to check myself and keep my distance from certain toxic relationships, because I got a pretty good chill button. Like, I ain't fitting to get in no fight with a female, you know? But there's only so much I could take before I'm walking off, slamming the door and leaving, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just not going to put up with it. I have a zero tolerance. And when you put your foot down and you're firm, a woman respects that. A woman does not want a do boy. A woman does not want someone bugging her, kissing her butt. A woman wants a man that's up about his business, and then he takes care of his relationship, you know? But he got to be about himself and about his business first. Of course, I put my family and my woman first, but if you ain't working and taking care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody, you know?
Nah, no doubt. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now, is just on that whole trying to take care of myself so I can present to the world to maybe, you know, a good guy, the best version of myself that I could be. You know what I mean? Emotionally secure, emotionally intelligent, become, you know, physically be where I want to be at, and just, you know, bring that man to the world, and hopefully one day maybe try to pass along everything I learned to the next generation. Maybe I'll have a kid one day, maybe I won't. But if not, I still feel like tapping in with the youth and with kids and trying to teach is still the purpose that I'm going for. And it's still the lane that I'm in. You know what I mean?
But shout out to all the single ladies out there. I am single. There's still room on the team if you're looking, you know. We were talking the other day about an idea for a show, like almost like Flavor Flav, or like Blueface, like Ladies Love Blue Eyes, rent a mansion.
Oh, okay. I don't watch Blueface. I remember Flav from back in the day,
Flavor
but I don't really
fuck with the Rock of Love. There was a few different ones. Brett Michaels,
yeah, I remember that stuff.
So I want to do it like, I want to rent a mansion. I want to fill it with like 10, 20 Instagram models that I talk to and I don't talk to.
Like, you know, like The Bachelor type of shit.
Yeah,
right?
like, you know, a few I know and a few I don't know from all over the country, all over the state, all over the world. And I want to do like a kind of like a Rock of Love show,
like
you know?
like an elimination thing, like Goodbye You Are the Weakest Link type
rent,
of deal.
Rent a mansion.
That's funny, bro.
Have a bunch of ladies in there and have a blast, and we're gonna call it Ladies Love Blue Eyes. So look out for that. There's plenty of room on the team.
Scandalous Productions.
That's all
man.
I'm saying,
the
ladies.
Sky's
If
the
you're
limit,
listening,
bro.
there's plenty of room on the team. We're taking applications now.
There you go.
You know?
Yo, I think on that, man, I think we should end it on that, bro. I think that's a good idea, man.
Salute.
I'm B Luke. You know who that
Blue
is.
Eyes.
And on that note, we out. Peace. Stay free.
Salute.
Stay strong. Stay solid. It is what it is. What's next? Let's
Stay strong,
go.
stay sharp, stay solid.
It's a
stay
scandalous
smart.
world.
Yeah.
All my life I was told to do right. Stick her by my side if they wanna test my life. Yeah, street kid, I was trapping long